Effective procurement in the NHS is vital to enable clinicians to focus on delivering the very best patient care. NHS London Procurement Partnership supports its members and NHS organisations to make decisions that create clinical and financial efficiencies which benefit NHS patients.
The NHS budget in England is around £152 billion a year. It sounds like a lot, but there's a lot to pay for. Around half of the budget alone goes on wages. With the staffing crisis, it's important the NHS is able to employ temporary staff at a fair price.
Across the capital, there are many employers of NHS staff, and so bank and agency staff have huge choice of where they can work. And the risk then, of course, is that we start to see escalating rates and competition. And what we can do by bringing all those organisations together is to rationalise that and prevent that escalating rate.
Dr Andrew Stradling is Medical Director of NHS London Procurement Partnership, NHS LPP. It helps vet suppliers from transport and clinical waste to catering and laundry. The supplier is evaluated by experts and must meet rigorous standards. This then saves NHS trusts in London time and money from having to find suppliers themselves.
The fact that we work with organisations across the capital means that we have more leverage, more clout, if you like, and we can get more consistency that way.
One of the trusts that NHS LPP works with is North East London NHS Foundation Trust. In the past, procurement across the capital has been fragmented. NHS LPP aims to align all the trusts.
The biggest thing is around our savings agenda, so we are constantly having to make millions and millions of pounds worth of savings. So by working with LPP, there is generally an aggregation spend that we can leverage, but then also on top of that, there's just, again, that knowledge to make sure that we're actually getting the right specification and we're getting what is best value for the NHS.
We've all got used to using our NHS app. It took off during COVID, and technology has transformed the way we use the NHS. But for procurement experts, the challenge is to keep up with this fast-paced world of innovation.
Adrian Gibson started his career in the NHS. He left and set up a digital company and is now back in the NHS, helping it to navigate this new world, from apps to remote wards. It includes a national project to enable trusts to buy electronic patient record systems that have been vetted by experts.
They will be able to share data with clinicians up and down the country. So if you imagine you're on a walking holiday in the lakes, you fall over and break your leg, but you live in Essex or in London, then the clinician can instantly access your medical records, understand what your conditions are, and then treat you immediately without the need for phone calls or emails, etc.
For Dr Andrew Stradling, this digital revolution will eventually mean more time with patients.
So now, for a lot of organisations, doctors will have many different systems that they need to access to get information just for one patient. So bizarrely, the digital revolution has actually made things, for some of us, more complicated. So we need to rationalise that, make it much more streamlined, make it easier for me to access all the information I need in one place so that I can spend much more time with the patient rather than on the computer.
And it's not just about money and time. NHS LPP's social value tool helps trusts to meet stringent regulations on standards and values.
The social value tool allows us to measure different economic, social and environmental impact throughout our tender process and then track that through to contract management. We're able to quantify the value of, let's say, carbon emissions, local employment, etc., all through the tool.
The NHS is under more pressure than ever. Its future relies on working closely together.